I see the picture here of Edie and Dan Hurley. Yeah, I guess Hurley has to whine to the officials. Well, he does. He has to whine to the officials all the fucking time because he's screaming. Listen, he won back to back, and let's give props for winning back to back. Right? That's something important. Back to back. He's only since I've grown up. It's been Wooden, it's been Coach K, it's been Donovan, and now it is Danny Hurley. The only four coaches to win back to back. And you know the run that UCLA went, what, 10, 13 years? But you know what? You know what's interesting? I love how they say the first UConn men's basketball coach. Let's preface that the way it should be. Men's basketball coach. I did a little research because it pissed me off so much when they talk about there's no women's basketball team at UConn that's won 11 goddamn national championships, but the men have won championships with 3 different coaches, 6 in 25 years, and back to back. That hasn't been done since 2006, 2007. Billy Donovan and that Florida team. Oh my God. Well, you know what? Gino Auriemma won in 95, undefeated. 6 times he's had undefeated teams. So let's just put that in perspective. 99, 1995, 2000. Then he went 2002 to 2004. That's 3 years in a row. Then he won 2009 back to back, and then 2013 through 2016. That's 4 in a row. So he's done it 3 different times. 3 different times. He's won 3. He did a 3-peat and he did a 4-peat. Oh, and let me get Pat Summitt. Pat Summitt's won 8 times. She won 96 through 98. That was a 3-peat, and 2007, 2008. So she did it twice. Coach K once. Donovan once. Danny Hurley once. And you're talking about, let's talk about Pat Summitt, let's talk about Gino Auriemma, and let's stop talking about, this greatness. Oh my, it's never been done. So the women's game, I mean, they're just playing basketball. It's not the same thing. I mean, it's not the smaller ball, all that bullshit. I call bullshit. It infuriates me when I see this stuff. Yes, I'm not trying to take away from it, but I love that Edie said something as he walked by and Hurley snapped. Hey, old man, get back to the fucking bench. That's what I would have said. All you do are complain about every fucking call you don't get your way. It gets annoying after a while. Yes, you had the better team. And then what did dipshit who should never say anything? Draymond Green should keep his fucking mouth shut because all he does is get ejected. Golden State should have beat the Cavs. Cavs' only championship. I believe if he had played, the Cavs would have lost in 7 games. But he got suspended, ended up missing, and everybody talks about, it was a great win for the Cavs. But Draymond Green, instead of flapping his fucking mouth and doing dumb shit, should have been on the court. So he had the balls, the temerity, whatever you want to call it, to say something about this. And he said you can watch 19 minutes left in the second half. Well done. He said, job well done, 35. You did your job tonight. It was him that made Edie quit with about 19 minutes to go in the second half. There was a turnover, and I saw Edie body language walking back. He was done. Now we watch the game from that point on. Free game. Yeah, that's what he said. He was talking about Samson Johnson for making Zach Edey quit in their loss. Zach Edey finished with 37 of his team's 67 points. That was the most points scored in a championship game since Johnny Morden and the Seattle Pirates got robbed by the refs and Romeo Robinson making those free throws when they lost in the final in Seattle, Washington, back in 1989. He scored 35, Johnny Morden, in that game. 37 of his team's 60 points, but he quit. And here's a guy talking about it, a guy who, unfucking believable. I was beyond Draymond, shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Play basketball and shut the fuck up. Dude, wow. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe. Yeah, so hey, yeah. Congrats, UConn. Better team, the best team. They won every game by double figures. Last 12 by double figures. They're a great team and they've done great things, and I'm so happy for them. And yes, Danny Hurley, but only $500,000 bonus for winning a Natty. I would think that should be $1 million at least. And they want to bring him. Who do they want to bring in? They want to bring in Danny Hurley. They want to talk to him about the job. He says he's not leaving, but the thing is, Kentucky has much deeper pockets than UConn. And they can afford to. He's won 2 in a row. He can go there. I mean, it might happen. It might not. We shall see. Yeah, Scott Drew, Dan Hurley, and Billy Donovan will be the calls. Will Billy Donovan go from, does he want to deal with the transfer portal? They're also trying to change the transfer portal. I thought this was hilarious. That they could adopt emergency legislation this month for a new transfer rule that would allow all undergraduate athletes to transfer and play immediately if they meet specific academic requirements. Yeah. It was first reported on Monday by The Athletic. Would limit the number of times an athlete can transfer. Athletes would still have 2 transfer windows and wouldn't be able to transfer mid-year and play for a second school in the same season. So they're going to do this. Yeah. So I guess we're going to see how this goes. Yeah, academic, that they meet academic requirements. Yeah. It's a free-for-all, man. I mean, the coaches could leave whenever they want. So now they're trying this out, and I guess we're going to see what happens going forward. Yeah, academic, if they meet certain academic requirements. Yeah, I wish you guys luck. They are students. They're not student athletes. They are brought in to play sports. And school is taken now, you try to do your best. The good thing is, if I was going to school, I would try to take classes over the summer. I'd try to bunch up over the summer, take less during the season, which is basically the whole school year, and do what you can. Go over the summer, whatever, just start, just take classes whenever you can. And, because I can't believe they're taking 15 credits and playing that much, practicing and playing that much, and the travel and everything. I think it would be very hard. That's just me. But yeah, and the goats being thrown, the word goats being thrown out way too much. I got into Milton and I had a debate yesterday that Caitlin Clark is the GOAT, and I'm like, well, and it doesn't, you can be the GOAT without winning, and I don't know how you could be a GOAT without winning. He's more LeBron than Jordan. Jordan 6 for 6 in finals. LeBron 4 and 6. LeBron, the all-time leading scorer. I get all that stuff. They're both, is there a GOAT? There could be GOATs. There's no such thing as a GOAT because everybody has a different opinion. But I definitely think to get in the GOAT conversation, you have to win. And I know she scored the most points in college basketball. I know LeBron scored the most points, but he's also had more years to do it than any other player. I know he's performing at a certain level, but he also has played longer. And Jordan played, 5 less years than him? And Caitlin Clark, yes, 2 runner-ups, congrats. Player of the year, congrats. All that stuff, not the GOAT. Cheryl Miller would have something to say about that. Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, Tamika Catchings, Shamika Holtzclaw. I could go, and there's ones even before. I met you had some Louisiana Tech players. You have some players that have played a long time. I'm thinking of Taurasi, Maya Moore, Brianna Stewart. Shit. And I'm blanking. Pat Summitt had a bunch of great players play for her. But, yeah. I can't. Right now she is, but you can't go by right now. Listen, the ratings were through the roof. 18.7 peaked at 24 million. The most watched men's or women's college basketball game, men's or women's pro game since 2019, outside of the NFL Olympics, the most watched sporting events in 2019. That means that it had ratings. People were watching. It was very impressive. I am very impressed by that. That to me is a very impressive thing. Yeah, very. And that's what you want when you watch these sporting events. You want to watch some greatness, and you did. You watched Caitlin Clark, who is the GOAT of the last 2 years. Okay, I'll give her that. She's the GOAT of the last year. Is she the GOAT of women's college basketball? No, you're throwing around too much. And it has to have time to marinate. You can't say right off the bat. You got to look, and Cheryl Miller played before even the WNBA. There was players that were phenomenal all the time. You can't even talk about sports too when they were segregated from African American or whatever, and Native, everybody. That it was a lily white sports we had. So you really can't talk until everybody was in this stuff. So you just can't. You can't talk about the GOAT unless you go back and do your history. Do your homework. It's way too soon to say that shit. Yeah, way too soon. But Zach Edey, let's talk about Zach Edey. And I read an article, he doesn't get enough blocks. Is that what they said? No. I read an article, and they're concerned about him in the pros. What did Michigan just sent me? Congrats to my highlighter, Ethan. Yeah, so I'm trying to get, this is awesome. Per Dawn's Daily, the only team to beat them this year. Amazing Gamecocks. Michigan's friend, Rochelle Hyman Weiner, her son plays on the men's basketball team that plays against South Carolina women. They're called the Highlighters, and they all get rings. So I'm trying to get Michigan to talk to get her son, Ethan. I want him on a show. So I told her, please talk to her. I said, Michigan, please talk. I want him on a show because I want to talk to him now. It's timely. It's an interesting thing to talk about. I said, let's get him on. Please reach out. That's what I'm saying. Please reach out for me. Reach out for me. I would think it would be kind of cool. You know, he's basking in it. And they were the only team to beat them this year. They'll all get a ring, which I think's awesome. I love that they're going to get a ring. I think that's great, great, great stuff. Saul, how you doing? So Zach Edey comes into college as the 33rd ranked player in the state of Florida. He played at IMG. He didn't start playing basketball until he was definitely hasn't played basketball for has played basketball less than, he's 22, played basketball less than 10 years. 3-star recruit, 33rd ranked player, 75th ranked center in the country. Now, I read another one that said he was the 436th ranked player in his class. This is a kid, his first year, he 14 and a half minutes, averaged 9 points, 4 rebounds, and a block. Second year, over 14, 7 rebounds, and an assist and a block. Then up to 22, 13, a block, an assist and 2 blocks. This past year, 25, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks. And they're talking about how he isn't... Oh, she did. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Beautiful. I'd love to get him on the show. That would be awesome. Now they're talking about him going to the pros and that Zach Edey is, you know, a big guy, but he, you know, there's things he does. They were first in, him and Klingen were, well, Zach Edey definitely, I mean, he's on the court all the time. Per basketball, okay. Which is player efficiency rating, which attempts to collect or boil down all the players' contributions into one number using a detailed formula. John Hollinger developed a system that rates every player's statistical performance. So the player, what's it called again? The player efficiency rating for Edey, 39.7. Top of the NCAA, Klingen's was 35.7, ranking second to the 2 highest marks by any NCAA player since Zion Williamson was 40.8 in 2018-19 at Duke, with the exception of Edey, who was 40.2 last year. There's some red flags. Only 11 steals the entire season, or about 0.5 per 100 possessions. You know, they're not 7.4 guys aren't expected to be ball hawks. That's a low rate even for a center in a category that is historically an indicator of value for the next level. But in 37 college games, he has more post-ups than any player in the NBA this year. So I would think that'd be a good thing. Now, Edey has used his size to protect the rim much differently than Klingen, opting for an extreme low-risk strategy that prioritizes avoiding foul trouble. He has more blocks than fouls this season, just like Klingen. The difference is that Klingen is nearly twice as likely to do either per possession. He has a low block rate for his size, 4 per 100. But if Edey is an indispensable start the next level, it also means he could likely ramp that up quite, which I think he can. He's also 22. Most guys are picked by age 20. Now, they said in turn how well they fit into the NBA. Klingen and Edey at their size provides a good gauge of exactly how unfavorable the current NBA is to huge, lumbering centers, because after obliterating the NCAA for the past 2 seasons, if they can't cut it this size, who else possibly could? Thank you, John Hollinger, for that. So that's what I read some stuff and I was like, okay, you know. So, I mean, he's improved his game every year. I don't know. I watched him play. I don't know if he's the answer in that respect. So, yeah, that's what I don't know. I mean, I feel that he can improve his game. He's not there yet, but there's time for that to happen, and we'll see if that does. He's improved every goddamn year. I love that he said something to Hurley as he walked by. You know, Hurley bitching to the refs, and 37 points out of his team 60. He's 25 shots. One teammate shot 12. Braden Smith, 4 for 12, 1 for 12 points. One player Every other player had less than 5 except one, 5 or less. No one took more than 5 shots. The bench was outscored 13-2. Purdue was 1 for 7 on threes. UConn was 6 for 22. And right there, that's the ball game, folks. You're not winning many games when you're, again, the bench, they lost by 15. Their biggest lead was 2. The biggest lead for UConn was 18. But Draymond said he quit. Yeah, Draymond, you sure thing. Sure thing, Draymond. Rangers Islanders tonight. Bumbles will be at the game. Rangers going for 112, to break the most wins in franchise history tonight at the UBS Center. Marlins at the Yankees. Yankees, how about leading the majors in hitting with a .417 batting average and a 3-run home run yesterday? Mr. Volpe. And Soto hit a 3-run homer yesterday. Yankees won 7-0. The game took a little over 2 hours, which is that's a very fast game. Very fast game. And you got 8 innings and 2 hit ball from Nasty Nestor. They got the win. They're 9-2. Bumble says they're, on pace. Again, they're playing tonight. It is AJ Puck, 0-2 with a 9 ERA against Rodon, 0-0 with a 2.79. Mets came back. DJ Stewart got the game-winning home run. They were down 4-0. They ended up winning yesterday 8-7. I think it was 9-8 or 8. I think 8-7. Was it? What was the Mets score yesterday, folks? I had it written down, and I just blanked on it. I blanked. The Mets won yesterday, and I had my buddy. I love him. Jay, 8-7. He said, watching the game right now, and I'm glad they tied the Braves, but if they didn't, I'd have a good feeling. I go, they came back from 4-0 because we were watching basketball. He goes, very, very exciting win. I didn't think they had a shot. I said, they're 4-6 now because the only downside is that was a very poor outing by Julio Teheran. I said they just signed him. He's one of those guys the Mets and others seem to sign. That was a quality pitcher 5 years ago, but is now 2 miles an hour and 2 years past his prime. Oh, and Rob's here. Of course, Nimmo with 2 home runs and went 4 for 4. You're 4-6. So over the season, you'll be 64-98, Rob. But good. Kind of cool. Yeah. And yesterday was Gary Carter's birthday. Brendan Nimmo, first home run and 2 home runs. And DJ Stewart, first hit of the season, go-ahead home run. And the Mets held on to win 8-7. And I know Rob's happy. I know that Jay is happy. I know that the Yankees are happy. 2 hours and 1 minute. Fastest 9-inning Yankee win since July 27th, 1990, when Andy Hawkins 3-hit the Indians in 1 hour 56 seconds. Game 1 of a doubleheader. So Cortez is the first starter to go at least 6.1, went 8 innings, got the win. Congrats to him, dude. I love that. Yes. And Cullum, the one and only Juan Soto. That's what I said, you gotta trademark that, dude. The one and only for Juan Soto. I thought that was great. Yeah, 8 innings, 102 pitches, 2 hits, 6 Ks for Nasty Nestor. Hey, and Volpe, age 22 or younger, with 15 plus hits, 5 plus walks, 5 plus extra base hits in the first 10 games of the season. Volpe this year, Derek Jeter in 97 and Lou Gehrig 1926, good company. And Broccoli Rob said that Volpe sucks. I beg to differ. Leading hitter in the AL is promising. Good for him. Mets today, it's Adrian Hauser, who was yanked after 5 innings, and they ended up losing that game. Wasn't that the makeup doubleheader, Rob? Hauser pitched like 5 innings, gave up 1 hit, and they yanked him, and he got a no decision. He's going against Reynaldo Lopez. And the Knicks, 46-32 with the 37-41 Bulls. That's a big game for them today. They got to keep winning if they want to try to jump to get to that 2 seed. I don't think it's going to happen because they're 2 games behind the Bucks and the Cavs, right? No, the Bucks and the Bucks and the Magic are going to play each other twice, so they can beat each other up. And the Knicks got to keep winning. Big game today. Warriors at the Lakers. Warriors are trying to catch the Lakers for the play-in to move up. We'll see if that happens. Yeah, time will tell. Time will tell on that front, right? Yes. We shall see. Time is of the essence. Just talked about that. UConn, great. 3 different coaches, 6 titles in 25 years. UConn, Duke open as betting favorites to win next year. UConn maybe Duke. No, not even close. And NCAA tournament wins by double digits, 12 consecutive for UConn. They became the first team in history to cover 12 straight tournament games. First to go back-to-back since, as I said, the 2006-07 Florida team. They are now 6-0 all-time in national championship games, like Michael Jordan, 6-0 in NBA Finals. Both greatness. And they're the second school to win back-to-back national title games by 15-plus points. UCLA did it 67-69. Yeah, so he's up there. Jordan Schultz, he's up there with Krzyzewski, Jordan, John Wooden, Adolph Rupp. That done simply sensational. All-time greats. Yeah, he's won 2 titles, though, folks. I know it's back-to-back, and that's very impressive, but it's still only 2 titles. And I think you put him up in Coach K, John Wooden. Listen, I'm not putting Hurley up there with fucking Coach K, Wooden, and Rupp. Those guys, he's got to win a couple more championships. Coach K won a lot of championships. Wooden, double digits. And I know they were, Duke can get the chip. Yeah. Dude, what do you mean? Rob, who's this? Oh, Danny. We'll be surprised if Duke can get the chip, but they definitely have been recruiting. In a while, they had the best recruiting, Danny. They had the best recruiting class this year, dude. Every year they have a top recruiting class. They're Duke. They choke every year. Let them have the best recruiting. What's the name of this? Cooper Flagg? Is that the kid that's coming in? That's the big kid coming in. Bill Simmons says he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Yeah. Oh my God. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. You listen. You still got to get these guys to play. Kentucky every year had these dapper. Yeah, Flagg. Yeah. Cooper Flagg. Yeah. Are you a Duke fan, Danny? Are you trying to tell me you're a Duke fan? It sounds like you're a Duke fan, because my cousin Hal sent me that usually the Duke fan base loves the Yankees, the Cowboys. They're all like front runners, all that shit. Yeah, I went to UNC. I fucking hate Duke. So let him, you know what? Actually, let him have a great recruiting class. Let's get to the tourney and get blown out in the first or second round, and let's have that happening. And you realize how good they had it with Coach K. But remember, Coach K's last 2 losses ever were at home to UNC, and then in his last game ever to UNC in the Final Four. Now UNC lost to Kansas. I will say that Kansas won that year, and fuck them. They blew a first half lead, which still pisses me off to this day. But we beat Duke, and we swept Duke this past year. So all these guys talking shit and everything. Oh, they haven't even come into play the Duke UNC yet. They're talking shit, and their team got swept last year. So Cooper, get there. Get the playing. Filipowski, none of those annoying fucking white kids that I can't stand. J.J. Redick, the kid who slammed the floor all the time. What was his name? Wojciechowski. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. And who's the one who keeps tripping over everybody, steps on people and all that? Who's in the NBA now? I can't stand him either. I'm blanking on his name. I see his face. Kind of radish looking. Yeah, so don't get me started. Don't get me started. Yeah. And Cam Spencer, this is what Sam Viceni said. If I'm an NBA team, I don't really care what Cam Spencer can't do. I care that I want that dude going into battle on the court with me every single day. You know what? He was going after rebound, just relentless motor. That's what I look at. That's what I about Caitlin Clark. Relentless motor. You got to have that relentless motor. You got to have that drive inside of you. I think Cam Spencer could play in the NBA. I do. And they only lost 3 times this year. The Kansas shot 64% from 3. Seton Hall game where Klingon only played 14 minutes into injury, and Creighton made 14 threes. I remember that game. They've steamrolled everybody. Love that Bill Murray, Breeze were at the game. I love that Drew Brees, they were both there rooting. I love that Drew Brees was rooting for Purdue. I think that's awesome. And actually, my old vet, she went to Purdue. She went to vet school at Purdue. And yeah, that dunk by Cam Hyde for Purdue, Jim Root said, if I was on the bench, if I was a walk-on and my teammate did this, I'd run a lap around the court and probably get ejected. But he went in for a putback. Holy shit! And listen, so my cousin Hal, Purdue had to beat UConn. He would have won his pool. My buddy Lanker, who filled out his bracket like a minute before it was due, he wins. He won the goddamn pool. I call him Kramer because everything he touches turns to gold. But God bless him. He always does it. I'm sitting here, gnawing and thinking about everyone, and then I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, wow, dude, that's crazy. And he won. He won again. Yeah, he won. I didn't win shit. I forget where, but I didn't do well. So Zach Edey in this tournament, 30 against Grambling, 30 and 21 rebounds, 65% from the field. Against Utah State, 23-14, 73 from the field. Gonzaga, 27-14. Tennessee, 40 and 16. NC State, 20 and 12. And against UConn, 37-10. So in all, 1, 2, 3, 4, double-doubles in all 6 games. And that's his 7th straight double-double in the tournament. Yeah, crazy, right? Yeah. And Hurley signed a new 6-year, $32.1 million after his title last year, 5.35, tops off at 5.8. UConn would be owed $7.5 million a buyout. You don't think that they have the money? It doesn't matter. $32.1 million. They'll be like, we'll give you $8 million. And he said his wife doesn't want to be too far away from Jersey. That's where he grew up. She said she'll kill me because now I'm making money. I think. And I saw they put a sign in front of Coach Cal's house that said, thank you, Coach Cal, for all you've done in this, gated, gorgeous house. Yeah, and 500,000 bonus, which I think is kind of low, ends up with 1.8 million on-court bonuses this season, could reach 2 million. 2 million? That's it? And they're the 7th most efficient transition team in college basketball and ranked 5th in half-court efficiency per synergy. They're the only team in the country to rank in the top 10 in both. I mean, that's pretty impressive, And I love this. So early this month while prepping, this is Purdue, they were prepping for the senior videos. The team's social media team recorded Ethan Morden reading a book for kids, Pig the Winner. Pig was a pug, and I'm sorry to say he was greedy and selfish in most every way. And the pug only cared about, winning at the expense of his friends and cared about nothing but himself. There are no pigs at Purdue. A year ago, Morden averaged 25 points per game and started 29 to 35 games. This season, 10 minutes per game, and during their 6 tournament games has played 6 minutes total, not checking in the Sweet 16, Elite 8, or either Final Four game. Caleb First, a one-time Indiana Mr. Basketball, started 21 games a year ago. He played 27 seconds against UConn just to give Edey a rest. As a freshman, Mason Gillis started 23 games. This year's 0. People in this situation, if they shy away from it, say it's easy or whatever, it's just not. Morden said it's hard, it's really hard, and as a competitor, you don't like it. You shouldn't, right? But if we cut the nets down at the end, it would be worth it. That's it. Thank you, Dana O'Neill. That's what I think it's about, winning. Now, I want to play too, but, the sacrifices players make. And, that's what they said. They dumped the ball into, one guy said, I don't have to watch this boring basketball anymore, which is, hey, not everybody to like it, but it worked. And Purdue actually, listen, after all their failures, they hadn't been to a championship game since 1969. They put it all together, and you're going to bash them, and you're going to call he quit in a game he scored 37 points when the team scores 60? Did he quit? I don't think so. I just think they were a better team. Their offense that Danny Hurley plays like football plays, red right 22, Z5 4. And he actually changed him this year because he is an offensive, basketball now has offensive coordinators. But it's all these cuts and picks and all this and movement without the ball. It's like poetry. You have to watch it like 100 times to understand it. But I'm reading the article and I see all this stuff. They play an amazing style of basketball, UConn. Hurley is a great coach, but I'm not putting him up there with Coach K and all that. Yes, he won 2 in a row. Congrats. Yes. Props for that. But I need more of this to put him in that realm of great, great coaches. I just do. You need longevity in this sport. You can't give a guy who wins back-to-back. I mean, then why isn't Billy Donovan in that same list? Billy Donovan won 2 in a row. Why isn't he in the same list as? How come they talked about Rupp and Krzyzewski and all that? How come Billy Donovan won 2 in a row, and nobody talks him in that respect? So now all of a sudden Danny Hurley jumps him over? Really? I call bullshit. I call a lot of bullshit on that front. Yeah, I do. So, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, and they just have to keep talking. I mean, they just got to say whatever comes in their mouth, Yeah, I love that. I love the stare down. I know he said, I would love to know what he said to him, but he probably said, oh man, just sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. Because that's what I would have said to him. I would have been like, just shut up. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. I mean, bench scoring and rebound, they were out rebounded. I mean, it was, Mikey D, good afternoon there. What's up, Josh? 3-point, I mean, 1 for that 15 points more, and they won by 15. Free throws, 9 for 11 Purdue, 11 for 15 Connecticut. Rebounds, 35-28 Connecticut. Assists 18-8 Connecticut to who was scoring. Steals 3-3, blocks 4-3 UConn, turnovers 9-8 Purdue, points over turnover. Actually, Purdue got more than UConn. What's up, Mikey D 1264? You want to talk any sports? Let's talk about it. Points in the paint 44-40. Yeah. The number one overall seed was the best team this season, and they got the win. They did. And that's all that matters, right? That's all. In the end, that's all that freaking matters. David Portnoy won over $2 million on UConn. Must be a slow day, because I don't give a fuck. I'm glad, David Portnoy, you had $2 million to bet on a fucking basketball game. Good for you, dude. I cannot stand him at all. He's a douchebag. He's annoying. He goes in these fucking pizza places, and he's just a fucking annoying douchebag. And he was talking one time to Tom Brady, and I'm like, dude, you went to Michigan. You didn't play at all. You know, you played with your fucking ball sack in college, and now you're acting like and Brady has to talk to you because what? You're in charge of whatever the hell he's Barstool, whatever. That all of a sudden I have to talk to you on the same level as me. Shut the fuck up. You know what? David Portnoy, fucking douchebag. There was a South Park episode for biggest douchebags. He'd be up there. If you put a Mount Rushmore of douchebags, he's right on that list. Right away, douchebag, him. Yep, Portnoy's a douchebag. I can't stand him. I fucking can't. If I saw him, I'd say douchebag. I'd be like douchebag. I wouldn't right in my mouth. That's the first thing that would come out. Douchebag. I love this. I saw Rob put this up, or somebody put this up in the chat. Stir-ups now, since MLB can now go back 7 days to change a scoring decision. How about going back 5,058 days? Yeah, Armando Galarraga, perfect game. That was a terrible call. And the ump even said I fucked up afterwards. Like, dude, that was a big fuck up. And this is so important for me as a lover of sports that Trey Young posted Dan Hurley's going to be considered one of the best to ever do it when his career is over. Because Trey Young is someone that I really need his opinion. And it takes, it's a different level. Like, thank you, Trey Young. You posting that. Like, we need to see what every athlete is posting. I don't give a shit. It means nothing. It's good sometimes because then Draymond Green talks about Zach Edey quitting, and I can just go off and go, that's another douchebag. A douchebag because he's fucked it over for his teammates. That's another one, Draymond Green, douchebag. David Portnoy, douchebag. There'll be others that'll come in my head. Angel Hernandez, douchebag. I think Rob put this up. Angel Hernandez could stare directly into the eclipse, and it might actually make him a better umpire. Yeah, it might. Yeah, and And the Rockets are 38-40. They can't get into the playoffs, but they can finish with a winning record with 4 games left. Thank you, Jonathan Fegan, for that. Hillary Evans posted this, the Olympic Statsman. Translated headline of the year. A Swedish-Ukrainian woman won the World Sex Championship, setting a record. Competitors withdrew due to injuries and doping. And there's a woman here, very ugly, with very, very large, fake breasts that look like they're about to... It looks like a terrible boob job. If I can ever say... Yeah, it's hard to see, but it is a terrible boob job. I thought that was a funny headline. I said, I'm gonna talk about that. I thought that was kind of hilarious, kind of funny. Just, it was funny when I read it. Yes, fantastic. Yes, I thought that was. And Logan Ryan retires, 2-time Super Bowl champ, cornerback, played 11 seasons. Logan Ryan played at, I'm pretty sure he played at Rutgers, if I am correct in my assumption, because assumptions make an ass out of you and me, correct? Yes, he played, did I get this right? Yes! Rutgers! 3rd round 2013, played for the Titans, Giants, Bucks, and retired after 1 season with the Buccaneers. 1st team All-American and 2-time Super Bowl champ. It's 13 sacks, 19 interceptions, a touchdown. Not bad. Not bad. Logan Ryan, you enjoy your retirement. You enjoy it. You go out, you do whatever you want to do, and you have a good old time. Yeah, thank you, Cal. Thank you, Cal, in front of his house. That's beautiful. And now UCLA has 11 championships, most recent 1995. Kentucky 8, most recent 2012. North Carolina 6, most recent 2017. And now UConn 6, most recent 2023. Coach K won 5. Their last one was in 2015. Indiana won 5. Last one was 87. Keith Smart still kills me. And Kansas 4. Last one 222. Yes, with 4, and it still pisses me off. And then Hal sent me this one. No hitters thrown since 2015. Recognized by Major League Baseball, combined included, which is bullshit. So then 7 by the Astros, 4 by the Cubs, 2 by the Sox, Detroit, Angels, Yankees, A's, Phillies, Mariners, and Nats. 1 each by Diamondbacks, Orioles, Reds, Dodgers, Marlins, Brewers, Mets, Padres, and Giants. A lot of teams don't. 11 teams do not have a no-hitter since 2015. But thank you, Hal, that your team has had 7. I'm so happy that your team has had 7 since then. It makes me so happy. And the best point differential was by Connecticut this year, 140 point differential. Beat out Kentucky in 96, where the final was played at Brendan Byrne Arena. They had 129 point differential. Villanova had 124 in 2016, and Duke in 99 at 123. Duke, that was a hell of a Duke team. I will say that even as a Duke. AP Player of the Year, Ralph Sampson did it 3 times. Zach Edey twice, David Thompson twice, Bill Walton, Kareem, and Jerry Lucas did it twice. Zach Edey, very good career. Someone, what did they made a reference? Spencer for Hire, and Rivers, show from 1985, man. I used to watch that show. I watched Spencer for Hire, man. He was also in Vegas. He died of cancer. That really sucked. And the Eastern Conference playoff race, as of April 8th, Islanders are ahead of the Red Wings by a point. Pittsburgh is a point, is, I guess, the tiebreaker with Detroit. They're at 84 points each. Then Washington's 0-4-3 the last 7. They're at 83, and the Flyers at 83. We are going Thursday to see the Rangers host the Flyers. We're very excited. We're very excited. Ecstatic, because you know what Thursday means? It means Keen's Steakhouse for JD, which means a king cut prime rib. And I think, who put this up? Was it Rob? Someone at Company of Jay's site put it up. Talking hockey, every NHL team's biggest fear. I love the Islanders not having a good goalie. The Devils, it was Matt Rempe. Ottawa was empty net goals. Flyers was reliable goaltending. Pittsburgh is Crosby's retirement. Arizona's bankruptcy. The Golden Knights is playing good defense with a C. I like that. Boston not being a contender, especially after last year. Sabres is playoffs. Flames is rebuilding. Canes is goaltender health. Blackhawks is sex abuse cases. Joe Kivaranta, I don't know what that means with the Avs. If someone could help me with that. The Columbus is proper management. That's been a mess. Not drafting well for the, I don't know who that team is. Is that the Dallas Stars? I guess, yeah, Dallas Stars. Yzerman leaving the Oilers, leaving the Red Wings. Oilers wasting McDavid. Yes, that's true. Wasting McDavid is huge. Away team fans for the Panthers. Yes, what that is true. LA's playing hockey. Wild is winning a playoff. Canadians is Leafs Twitter. A second relocation for the what team is that? I don't know what that one is. I gotta ask someone. Oh wait. So that's not. Oh wait, what's? I don't know who some of these teams are. I don't know all their emblems. I apologize. I gotta get someone on to tell me what. Stuck in mediocrity is the Islanders. The Rangers is not having a top goalie. I think Igor's pretty good. Empty net goals for the Senators. Reliable goaltending. What else? Sellout crowds for the Sharks. Hot start of the season for Seattle. The Blues is Angry Bennington. First round picks for, again, I don't know who some of these teams are. 4-1 leads for Toronto. That's big. The Stanley Cup final is for changes to, long-term injury. It seems like some of these teams have gotten double the, I'm a little confused right. I got the Caps, and then the Caps are NHL DOPs? What's NHL DOPs? What is that? NHL DOPs. What is that? Delay of play? Wait. I don't know what that is. Who runs? Oh, Department of Player Safety. Oh, okay. Okay. I don't know who all these teams are. Maybe I got to get Hockey on here to talk about it because I don't know what some of these teams are. I really don't. I'm confused. I'm getting a little confused by who some of these teams are. So I got to go through all of them. Real or fake? Yes. Yeah. I don't know if anybody, Rob or Josh or Saul. I just got a little confused right there with all that stuff. I got a little discombobulated because it looks like some of them are the same over and over and over again. This is from Talkin Hockey. Yeah, I'm trying to see who that emblem is. Yes, a second relocation. Oh, is that Winnipeg? That's Winnipeg? Yeah, Winnipeg could get a second relocation. That's what that one is. Oof. First round draft picks is the Tampa Bay Lightning. Yes, Tampa Bay Lightning. Okay. Yeah. So some of them are funny, and some of them I have to think too much. And I'm not real. I love hockey. I just don't know a lot about hockey, but I know some stuff. I know some stuff. Yeah, some, not all, but I know some. So, yeah. And Iowa, Caitlin Clark scored more points this season, 1234, than Iowa football scored during her time as a Hawkeye. I thought she scored more in 4 years than Iowa football scored in 4 years. That's pathetic. Thank you, The Athletic. South Carolina, we win championships. They get rings. About the highlighters, I'm going to get hopefully one of those guys on. Next year, tournament sites, Sweet 16, Elite 8 in Newark, New Jersey, Final Four in San Antonio. I'd be very excited about that. Knicks, how about this from Tommy Beer? The first time 3 Knicks have tallied at least 700 points, 250 rebounds, 200 assists, and 50 steals in the same season since the ABA-NBA merger. Brunson, DiVincenzo, and Josh Hart. Michael Ray Richardson, Ray Williams, and Campy Russell did it for the Knicks back in 80-81. First time 3 Knicks, since the ABA-NBA merger. Well, then I guess that's not true because Justin Kubatko says that Michael Ray Richardson, Ray Williams, and Campy Russell did in 80-81. So, and Jay Larinaga, whose dad Jim is the coach of the Miami basketball team, is a finalist for the Hornets coaching job. He's an assistant with the Clippers. He'll interview for the jobs. Last 3 years on Ty Lue's staff after 9 years under Brad Stevens and Doc Rivers with the Boston Celtics. And Lindsey Harding, the coach of the G League Stockton Kings. She's 39, was the number 1 pick by Phoenix in the 2007 WNBA draft. She became the only woman to head coach in either the NBA or G League when she got the job, and she had her Duke jersey, number 10, retired by the school. She was named Naismith Player of the Year in 2007. 9 years, as I said. She's been a scout and player development coach for the Sixers. She then spent 4 years as an assistant with the Kings before being named coach of the Stockton Kings. And she became the first woman to be named the NBA G League Coach of the Year. They went 24-10 in the regular season. She also coached the Mexican women's national team since 2022 and previously served in the same role as South Sudan's women's team. It's going to happen, folks, and it's a good thing. I'm excited about it. I like hearing diversity, and if you can coach, whether a man or woman, I don't give a shit. Coaching is coaching. I love it. And TNT Sports is now the premier destination for WNBA action in the UK and Ireland. So if you're in Ireland and the UK, you'll be able to watch WNBA starting May 15th. And it's likely that Trae Young or DeJounte Murray will be moved this summer. Who gives a shit? And I can't stand fucking Carmelo. And this is from Raymond Felton. A UNC grad who always seemed to be a lot of trouble off the court and had weight problems when he played in the league. He said, Carmelo Anthony, great scorer. I don't know nobody who's better. I'm talking about Tracy McGrady, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. Now, Kevin Durant, can he score? Sure. He scores easily for him to be 7 feet. But I've seen Melo score everywhere, Burrow. I haven't seen KD just get somebody in the post and like, I'm just going to do you dirty and just post the whole game via run your race. So he's a better scorer than McGrady, Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron, and KD. He can post it better than KD. Thank you for that stunning revelation there about Carmelo Anthony. Because when I think of great players, of guys I want to build a team around, even at his peak, I never once in my mind, after scratching my nuts and saying to myself, wow, you know what? I need to start a team. Carmelo's the guy I'm going to go with. Carmelo peaked his 1 year at Syracuse. He won the Natty, came to the pros, and then realized there's a lot more work I could do. For as great a scorer he was, he complained. Remember that with Kobe during the Olympics? Waking up at 5 a.m. He goes, I'm not doing that stuff. They all got up early, started training, and he didn't like that. Carmelo didn't like putting the extra work in. He always liked showing us how hard he worked when he wore his ninja uniform and all that stuff. But it never translated. And he was more into the bag than rings. He's even said that. But yes, fantastic score. If I had to win a game, Carmelo's the guy I want the ball in his hands in the last seconds of a game. And then I'd yank it out of his hands, kick him in the ass, and say, go to the bench and never come back. See, I love this stuff because social media gets people to say whatever they want, and we're supposed to sit here like, yeah, okay, sure, that's a great answer. Yeah, that's fantastic. Let's go that direction. Fucking douchebag. Another douchebag. Raymond Felton, douchebag. Carmelo Anthony, Carmelo Anthony, douchebag, just for even making that comment that we played for bags, not for rings. That to me is a douchebag. That's somebody I don't want on my team. You think Jordan ever said that? Yeah, I played for bags, not for rings. Jordan went there to win at fucking everything. Carmelo never did. He never did. He wanted that money. Now he's doing a commercial with Eli, which is a disrespect to Eli. Eli won. Carmelo is just Carmelo. And if you're gambling, hey, the best teams against the spread this year are the Magic, Mavs, Sixers, Knicks, Rockets. But don't bet. The worst teams against the spread are the Raptors, Suns, Bucks, Hornets, and Hawks. So thank you, John Ewing, because I'm a huge, huge gambler. I'm not. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking on that front. Reds, you see Ellie De La Cruz, home run, and then had an inside the park. Well, it did roll. That guy's got a motor, man. Motor. And the White Sox, 16 runs in 10 games. They lost 4-0 Monday to the Guardians. They're 1-9. 16 runs in 10 games. No bueno. A lot of shitty teams this year. Shittier than the Mets. Guardians improved to 8-2. And this is from my buddy Jason. So the Padres were down 8-0 in the 6th inning and came back and beat the... who they beat? Who the Padres beat yesterday? Was it the Cubs? I thought it was the Cardinals. Padres. Yes, Cubs. Won 9-8 yesterday. They're 6-7. Cubs fell to 6-4. Tied the biggest comeback, Jason, my buddy Jason, in franchise history. Down 8-0 after 4, got 7 in the 6th. And Daniel Camarena, who grew up in San Diego, was just brought up from El Paso yesterday, hit a grand slam yesterday. A grand slam. Sarah Lang says he became the second pitcher in MLB history to hit a grand slam for his first career hit. Bill Duggleby in 1898 was the first. How about that for a trivia? That's a trivia question for a future show. I'll tell you that much. He was called up that day. Legendary stuff. His dad had just died, and there's a video of him hitting the grand slam. His brother is going nuts with a phone in his hands in the stands during the game. So his father passes, just brought up from El Paso, local kid, and Mr. Camarena, Daniel Camarena, hits a grand slam for his first hit ever, and they get the win 9-8. 8 runs ties the largest comeback win in Padres history. They did it actually 7-8-21 versus Nationals. Daniel Camarena played in that game. 74 against the Pirates and 70 versus the Giants. So 4th time ever. That's crazy. Tatis hit a 2-run homer and they won. Hit a go-ahead 2-run homer with 2 outs in the 8th. They stunned him 9-8. Jackson Merrill, the other day, that's what I reached out to him because Sunday he went 4 for 4. They lost the game and he said, I don't give a shit that I went 4 for 4. We lost the game. You see? Carmelo would have been like 4 for 4. Hey, I scored 50 points tonight. You guys lost by 20. I got 50 points tonight, dude. Set the Garden record for most points in a game. But Carmelo, you lost. Dude, scored 62 points in a game. But you lost. What? Hey, guys, I'm great. Look at me. It's about the bag, not the rings. Isn't that what we care about? The bag. We don't care about the rings. Can you imagine saying that? And is he beloved in New York? And you want that motherfucker? And Josh says, yeah, his jersey should be retired. Fuck you. Not Josh, I got to be honest. But fuck you for saying that. Fuck you, guys. Well, or did he say that? I thought he did. I mean, fuck you. Come on. Really? You want Carmelo's jersey up there? Does that signify greatness to you? Fucking bullshit. Carmelo only cared about Carmelo. That's all he's ever cared about is Carmelo. That's all he's cared about. My eyebrows are out of control. Got to get a haircut. Got to get a haircut. A little wound up today. A little wound up, yes. So Jason said, so I asked about that. What do you think the season's going like? He goes, I heard that quote and thought about sending it to you. The kid has the right mentality. Stud. Never played center field before either. Doing a great job defensively. It was part of A.J. Preller's strategy of signing 9 shortstops. And I was like, what? And I said, so they did that because, they're athletic. They can move to different positions. They have a strong arm because you got to have a strong arm to play shortstop. A-Rod made the switch from shortstop to third. He said he pretty much only played shortstop in the minors. Obviously, Tatis was a shortstop. Xander Bogaerts at shortstop. Ha-Sung Kim. And there's at least one other he says I'm forgetting. I said, but why draft so many shortstops? He said Machado used to be a shortstop, and I guess Cronenworth was 2. He goes, your guess is as good as mine. He said maybe the thought is that there's good enough. If they're good enough athletes, they'll be able to adjust like Tatis did last year. Xander has made a good adjustment to second so far. He said Preller's a madman. You can never quite figure out what that guy is up to. He has a disastrous season last year. He's on the ropes, yet somehow completely rehabilitates the system after giving half of it up for Juan Soto. And he said if they don't make the playoffs this year, I don't think they can bring back Preller. It's been 10 years and a lot of money spent. He said Dennis Lin wrote this morning that Manny Machado won't be 100% until 2025. Not great news to hear as he's attempting to come back to third base. Recovery from that particular elbow surgery. And I didn't know about this. I said, what, a UCL injury? Like, Tommy John or something different? He said he had right elbow extensor tendon repair surgery in October 2023. That was after the season. The surgery is to address tennis elbow. Heard talk yesterday that even not playing at 100% this year, he'll still be better than he was last year when the injury was just. So he played all last year with tennis elbow to the point, and we talked about Anunoby was out with the tennis elbow basically in the pain, and he played throughout the whole season. He said he's only hitting 200. Have to wonder whether it's worth it. I said, but it's just pain. And theoretically should be fine batting. He may just have slump going to start the year. I was a lot more optimistic before this weekend. Too much sloppy play going on with blown leads. They really had a chance to win the 2 games they lost against the Giants this weekend. Starting pitching has been outstanding up until tonight, but then they got the win. Relief is shaky, and they seem to be doing the same thing they did last season, scoring 14 one night and not being able to score 2 the next. They're still in second place and only a couple games under 500. If they can survive this week against the Cubs and Dodgers without losing every game, there's still some hope. And I said, I hope the NLCS last 2 years ago isn't your high point of things right now. But yeah, I almost said Dodgers. Sorry, that's sacrilegious to say you're a Padres fan. But yeah, I always like hearing. I like when people, buddies of mine that are different fan bases and love those fan bases. I love to get their point of view of the teams they love, and especially, yesterday, 7-0 comeback, and you have a pitcher whose father dies and he hits a grand slam for his first hit ever in a game is very impressive. So congrats, Jason, you rock. I always love talking Padres stuff. How about this? The Dodgers are 8-1 when a pitcher lasts at least 5 innings this season, 1-3 when they don't. And they won with a 6-inning performance last night. And Ozzie Guillen had interesting. He was saying, you can't pull fat. I remember guys having 12 Budweisers and 3 hamburgers, and they played all year long. Yeah, John Kruk said that. You can't pull fat. And there's something we said, you're paying all this for all this. These guys getting the best training, all this stuff, and trainers and conditioning and nutrition and all that stuff, and they get hurt left and right. And the pitchers, listen, a lot of guys are going to have opinions about it. I read about Gerson. She's a woman who reports down in Tennessee. She writes a lot about Vanderbilt. She said these kids are getting hurt in high school. They're never the same. They get hurt in college. They're trying to impress the scouts, so they're throwing harder. And guys are getting injured, and their guys aren't even getting to pitch at the major league level because they're being destroyed in high school. They're being destroyed in college. They're getting Tommy John surgery left and right. And it's a pandemic. It is, what Verlander said? It is a serious problem, and it's not getting better. And you're constantly worried about every pitcher you have coming in the league, and can their arm survive? And you're just waiting for it. One start, we want more. Everybody keeps talking, especially on the chat. Oh, I want him to go, let him get the complete game. You know what? Nestor pitched 8 innings. Get him the fuck out of there. I would have been happy with 6 or 7. Get him out of there and save him for another day. You know what? You're up 7-0. Let the relievers get some innings out of people. And why let him go 9 innings? Great. He pitched 102 pitches, whatever. Get him out of there. He had a great day. Move on. We don't need complete games. These guys, They're not the same pitchers. These guys, all they do is play fucking baseball. They don't play other sports. And it's like I said, it's like a tire that is constantly wearing down after every single use. It doesn't revitalize. That's it. It goes there and poof, it's done. And now Darren Waller, this is from Charlotte Carroll, that Darren Waller told Vic Tafur, who covers the Raiders, he's still undecided on whether or not he'll play this season, which I think it's April, dude. Will he have a decision before the draft? That would be ideal, but I also don't want to put that on myself. It's got to be before summer break. Dude, you know or you don't know? It's April and you're not sure if you're going to play or not play? Honestly? You're not sure? You still up in the air on this? As Giant fans, I would not be happy with this. Yeah, I would not be happy at all. Oh God. Okay. So, yeah, I'm supposed to go out. Yeah. Okay. So, I don't take that as a good sign, guys. I don't take it as a good sign if you're a Giant fan that he hasn't decided, hopefully before summer break. Now, I've seen mock drafts, and mock drafts go on and on, but I'll tell you, Spencer Rattler, who's been up and down, started at Oklahoma, went to South Carolina. Stafford's 36, 3 years left on his deal. Team has an out after 2025. Develop Spencer Rattler with Sean McVay. That's not a bad thing. And Garrett Wilson had the 4th most targets last year. Brock Purdy had the highest passer rating. Now, I knew this. Bruce Arians was the first white football player to share a dorm room with a black player at Virginia Tech. You know who his teammate was? His roommate was a running back, James Barber, the father of Rondé and Tiki Barber. Yes. Yes, and helmets from manufacturers have more than doubled the number of position-specific models will be available. They don't know if that will lower the amount of concussions, but it's a sign. There are, what they say, 12 top-ranked helmets are designed for either quarterbacks or offensive defensive linemen. They include multiple new manufacturers, including Riddell, whose Axiom 3D model is ranked number 1 and are the result of a push from the league to spur more activity in the space. Jeff Miller, the NFL's executive VP of Communications, Public Affairs, and Policy, said, "It's a fantastic piece of innovation. The players in these position groups will have a lot of options that they haven't had before. Time will tell if they really impact the concussion numbers, but I guess we're going to see." There's a version for quarterbacks, one for offensive and defensive linemen, and one that is standard for all positions. I guess they're just going to keep improving this stuff. And the NFL and Players Association are still exploring the causes of potential adjustments after the helmet of Mahomes cracked during a playoff game in frigid temperatures last year in KC. New testing procedures could emerge as a result, in addition to some different game day protocols. I guess we'll see. And how about this guy? Kansas City superfan who committed a series of bank robberies has been ordered by a judge to pay $10.8 million in damages to a Bixby, Oklahoma bank teller who he threatened with a gun, per ESPN's Elizabeth Merrill and David Purdom. Xavier Babudar, widely known as Chiefsaholic, reportedly was ordered to pay Peyton Garcia, the former teller, $3.6 million for inflicting physical and emotional distress, $7.2 million in punitive. The great thing is that he is. They don't know how he's going to pay it. He doesn't have the money. I don't know if he stole the money. I don't know how he's going to actually pay this. Said he and his client are aware that it will not be easy to collect the money. So why give this? I don't understand. He admitted to committing 11 robberies in 7 states that resulted in more than $800,000 and laundering that money through casinos. He's required to pay at least $532,000 and change in restitution to the financial institutions he robbed. Good for him. Yeah. So they order this, and he doesn't have that kind of fucking money. And Auburn will go from, I remember hearing about him. He was a super fan, dressed up and all that stuff, and he was robbing banks to go to all these games and everything. That's how he was paying for everything. So Chiefsaholic was a robber, douchebag. She's another douchebag. And now this woman, she's never going to see a dime of that. Because the guy stole the money. It's not like he had this money, and he blew it all. So everything he made, he spent. So he had a nice run. And he'll go to jail, and they'll make a movie about him eventually, and You know, maybe The Rock will play him and show him in a nice side. I did watch San Andreas today, and The Lone Ranger from '81 as a kid. I remember, which bombed. I mean, it wasn't very good, but I watched it. It was pretty good. Not bad. Not bad. Pretty good. And Auburn is going to Nike from Under Armour, July 2025. Oh, this is a good debate for hockey. What harder to do? 100 assists or 70 goal season? So 100 assist season, 3 different players have done it 13 times. 70 goals, 8 different players have done it 14 times. What about 65 primary assists in a season, which is primary assists is when you make a pass to the person who scores the goal. McDavid's high is 61 this season, done by 4 players 13 times. And the Penguins extended their point streak to 9 games. They lost in overtime to the Maple Leafs yesterday, 3-2, tied with the Red Wings in terms of standing points. 7 teams separated by 6 points are still in contention for 2 playoff spots in the East, including 5 teams divided by a 2-point margin, which is crazy. And Crosby, 998 assists, 1,588 points, 2 behind Phil Esposito for 10th overall. Matthews, 65th goal, first player to get 65 since Ovechkin in 2007-2008, and the Penguins are 5-12 in overtime. Yeah, so pretty crazy. And he set up the game-winning goal in overtime. Jake McCabe scored 102 points. He's going to win the Rocket Richard Trophy for most goals. 5 goals in five games remaining to become the 9th player to score 70 since 92-93. Remember, Saul talked about this. Teemu Selanne and Alexander McGillney had 70 in 92-93, at least 70 goals. And Matthews may not need all 5. He reached number 65 in his 76th game. He's buried 51 in his last 55 games. Ovechkin needed 81 games to score 65. So, hey, only 25 seasons of 65 goals or more. The first dozen to reach the mark were Mike Bossy, Esposito, Gretzky, Hull, Yari Curry, Lemieux, Lanny McDonald, Mogilny, Bernie Nichols. I love Bernie Nichols. Bernie Nichols was a Ranger and a King. Ovechkin, Selanne, and Steve Yzerman, and now Matthews. His next goal will match Dave Keon for 3rd most in Leafs history. Crazy, right? And a grandmother broke the plank record for longest time to do an abdominal plank. Donna Jean Wild, 58-year-old mom of 5, grandmother of 12 from Alberta, Canada, did a plank for 4 hours and 30 minutes at the high school where she was once vice principal prior to retiring. You have to keep your forearms and toes on the ground throughout while keeping the remainder of your body straight and lifted off the ground. She said she usually planks for up to 3 hours. Who has 3 hours a day to plank? You can't do anything. You're staring at the ground. You really can't watch TV unless the TV's on the fucking ground. She started planking 12 years ago when she broke her wrist and was unable to run or lift weights while wearing the cast. Jesus, she turned to planking as an alternative. Just like unbelievable. She said her elbows were in rough shape and she was concerned about losing her form. My quads hurt because I was just really tense. His wife, 40 years, Randy, she's married to a guy, Randy Wild. She suffers from chronic pain in her hands and arms, but that didn't stop her from taking home the prize. Her son is a teacher at the school where she used to work, where the record attempt took place, and told Guinness World Records that his mom has always been athletic. She tried to breathe and stay calm during the last 30 minutes. She beat her previous record of 4 hours and 19 minutes, which she did in 2019. The men's plank world record is over 9 hours and 38 minutes in 2023 from a man from the Czech Republic. Can you imagine planking for that fucking long? Are you kidding me? All right. So judge rules Ja Morant acted in self-defense when he punched teenager at his home in 2022. Good for him. Good for him, dude. Fantastic. Yeah, did I miss anything else? What did I see? UConn has been a favorite in 14 straight NCAA tournament games, every game in 24, every game in 23. 7.5 versus New Mexico State in 22, first round, lost. 3.5 versus Maryland in 21, first round, lost. The last time that they were a dog in the NCAA tournament was 2016 versus Kansas. They lost 73-61. Good for them. Just getting it done. Another guy going to the transfer portal. You could do that all day. You could do that literally all freaking day. Did I miss anything else? If I did, somebody will tell me. This is news. Wait. Oh, Arizona guard Killen Boswell into the transfer portal. They did not have a good year. Good for them. Cheap meat demand on fire as inflation rages. Spam is a regular item again. I don't think so. I don't think I've eaten spam. Yeah. I don't think so. Masters this weekend. Tiger starts 1:24 p.m. on Thursday. And Tati said Tony Gwynn cleats, custom Jordan. What, every game he has new ones? So people are still responding to this thing I put about the game on Friday. Then you truly don't want things fair. Who even says that? Abby, that was Friday. Get a life. Go do something productive. That's what I just wrote it. Go do something productive. Oh, you know what the best thing is? All these people, you can't respond to them. They can respond to me, but they can't respond. Yeah, I just said go do something. That was Friday. Go do something productive. Yeah, I said the refs made a call, and that was the answers to me. Shut the fuck up. How about that? Shut the fuck up. Schumacher to explore. Marlins manager could be on move this offseason. They're 1-9. What are you going to do? And there are all these trade things now. So Tony Gwynn, Tatis likes the cleats, huh? I guess he wears a different pair every game. Good for him. Good for you. Are they cool? I'm just trying to see if they're cool. Oh, Mr. Padre. He's Mr. Padre. That's cool. I mean, this is Mr. Padre. All right. Trivia question. No one got yesterday's, so let's try yesterday's. I thought Saul was coming on, but I guess he wanted to be quiet today and just listen. That's okay. That's okay, Saul. I'm not upset. And who were the last 3 Ranger teammates to score 30-plus goals in the same season? That was yesterday's trivia question. Nobody got it right. And Saul didn't try to answer it, and Josh had no answer. Anybody out there want to try to answer that question? If not, it's understandable. Yeah, I got to go meet. Oh Jesus, I got to meet somebody in like 2 hours. I get to go look at chairs with somebody for a couple hours. That's going to be torture, but it'll be fun, right? It'll be fun. Yeah. So 2001, Peter Nedved, Radek Dvorak, and Theo Fleury each scored 30 goals for the 2000-2001 Rangers. Today's trivia question: there are 2 Major League Baseball players to win batting titles in both leagues. There are 2 Major League Baseball players who have won the batting title in both leagues. Can you name them? The 2 Major League Baseball players all time in the history of baseball to win batting titles in the AL and the National League. Only 2 players all time. I'll give you a second. What do you think? Anybody have a gander? Mike, Ryan, anybody? Yeah, Danny. And Danny, please subscribe. Danny, I don't know who Danny is. Do we know who Danny V is? Yeah. Oh, Danny V Flag. I don't know who that is. I do not know who this person is. Danny V. Oh, Danny V. Danny V. I don't know who you are. I'd like to know you. Please subscribe to my YouTube page. Yesterday. So, Michigan's, yeah. Oh, that's Bernie. Okay, Bernie. Bernie. You got to give me Bernie's Instagram. Company Jace. Got to give me his Instagram, and I'll tag him. I don't think Bernie and I are friends on Instagram. So nobody knows that trivia question. The only MLB players to have batting titles in both the American League and National League. So nobody knows. Great. What was I going to say to you? So thank you, Josh, Saul. We do an early show today, but better early than not. I went a little crazy at the beginning of the show, but that's okay. GOAT is used too often, and some people should keep their mouth shut. Talking Zach Edey quit when, you've quit on your team quite often this year and in your career, Draymond Green. Yankees tonight, Mets tonight, Rangers tonight, Knicks tonight. Let's go 4 for 4. That's what I want. Everybody have a great day. Peace out. And I will talk to you all very, very soon. Adios.